Well, hi everybody. I just realized I kind of matched my curtains. It's me, Jessica, your health fitness program manager from McLean, and we're going to get started in just about 3 minutes with today's core and stretch class. You know what? For something different, we're going to get started in tabletop. We're going to get right into some cat cow today. Uh, Feel free to take the next couple of minutes to do whatever you want. Maybe grab a couple sips of water, maybe grab your pets. You might want to have some weights for today's class, but by no means do you have to have weights. You'll still be getting in some great core work, whether or not you're holding a little extra something something in your hands. Right, Fred? Right. Right, Uncle Buck? Oh, right. It'd be so cool if you sat there during class, but I have zero expectations. Are you getting cozy? Good. And even here, stretching down to pet the dog. I'm starting to warm up a little bit through those legs, keeping my feet planted. I'm just bending one knee and then the other. Taking my time to make my way down to the mat because we start in 1 minute. Remember, if you want to put some music on, we'll keep most of today's class pretty slow. Uncle Buck. Okay. Cool. Got some light weights nearby. I'm gonna use these light weights later at the end of class when we're doing our freedom twists. And just hold two together for a little extra challenge. I'm gonna make sure quickly that things are recording and streaming properly. And then I'm gonna meet you down on the floor because remember we're starting in tabletop for some cat cow. Ooh. All right, so making our way down onto our mat, spread your fingers really wide. Start to apply some pressure into your hands, palms, and notice if you, like me, were sinking into your shoulders here. So really push into your hands, palms, squeeze those shoulder blades together, and then draw your belly button back towards your spine. Just take a moment in this neutral tabletop. Maybe you're even starting to press the tops of the feet down into the floor. Find a little length from the crown of your head down through your tailbone. So a nice long engaged back and core. And let's take just a couple cat cows here. So tucking your chin down into your chest, really pushing into your hands. Maybe it even feels a little uncomfortable in your hands. I know my hands are feeling a little tired right now. So we'll be sure to get some good wrist stretching in next. For the moment, just sticking with some traditional cat cow to get started. Check in with yourself to ask yourself, hey, how am I feeling today? And however it is you're feeling, that's fine. Whether you thought back, I'm feeling great, or today is not a win. And even if right now doesn't feel like a total win, let's not count out the whole day. Maybe something great could happen a little bit later. You never know. All right, go ahead, sit your glutes down on your heels. We'll stay kneeling for a moment. So if you want to, you can even place a block under your glutes for a little support. Make some circles with your wrists in one direction. Oh, I forgot to start the timer. Make some circles with your wrists in the opposite direction. Make some circles with, oh my gosh, your shoulders in one direction. Make some circles with your shoulders in the opposite direction. Great. Still kneeling, really applying some downward pressure through the sit bones, whether you're on a block or on the back of your legs. Lift that chest up. Do your best to stack your shoulders on top of your hips. Inhale those arms up and exhale, relax your arms down. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, arms down. One more time. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, arms down. Come on back into your tabletop. Moving that block out of the way. All right, continuing with some stretches in our wrist. Once again, spread your fingers really wide like a starfish and make sure that you have those hips just about on top of your knees, that your knees aren't further back at all. Because for this next one, we're going to lean a little bit forward, bringing fingertips gently behind where the shoulders are, and then coming right back to that neutral tabletop. So press into your hands, palms, make sure you're not sinking into the shoulders. Inhale to find your lifted length, and exhale. Take that big stretch. Inhale, come on back. Enjoy an exhale here. Let's do that one more time. So inhale, really press into your hands, palms, back is engaged, belly pulled to spine. Exhale. Pressing the hand palm down to the floor, big stretch, big inhale. Find a little bit of lift. Exhale. Take it on back. This time we're going to turn our hands over. Depending on how tight your wrists are, you might end up having your hands really close towards your knees, or you might benefit from having those hands a little further away. Now, it's up to you how much pressure you're going to apply here. So you might already really be using that core and that back to brace here as if you were about to put your hands down. You can do the same thing with just a little bit of pressure on your hands, or you can really push the back of your hands into the floor. For this next one, inhale, make sure you're not sinking into those shoulders, and exhale, sitting those glutes back towards your heels. Inhale, bring it forward. Exhale, send it back. Let's get that, oh my gosh, one more time. Inhale, bring it forward. Exhale, bring it back. Hold it here for 3, 2, 1. You can peel your hands off of the mat. Take a moment, bring your hands together, give yourself a nice massage. I'm really into interlacing your fingers all the way up towards the webbing, and then squeeze. Think about squeezing your hands like you're squeezing a baseball. That's one option to really bring your hands together. But then also think about squeezing your fingers in towards each other. So you're getting a nice massage all throughout the knuckle joint. This one feels amazing if you have someone else's hand that you can hold who is willing to also use their strength to give you a little bit of a knuckle massage. What a joy. All right, let's bring our hands palms back down on the floor. Great. So our wrists are a little bit more warmed up. If you're still feeling tension through the wrists and this is uncomfortable to have your hands palms on the floor, you can switch to having your knuckles down towards the mat. Great. So from here, we're just going to extend the right leg back. I want you to really think about keeping that right hip, your chest square down towards the floor. So we're in like a modified plank right here, pushing the ball of the foot down towards the mat. How much can you have your heel stacked on top of the ball of the foot? On your next inhale, lift your right leg up and exhale, cross it over the left side of the body. Inhale to find some length, activate through the back, draw belly button to spine, and exhale, look over the left shoulder. We'll hang out here for just a couple of breaths, getting a nice stretch into the side body. Beautiful. Inhale, turn your head back to center. Exhale, push into your hands, palms. Inhale, lift that right leg up. Exhale, bring it back in. Cat cow it out. Back to your neutral tabletop. Keep that right knee down on the mat. Start to pull your core in, belly button towards spine. Send your left leg back behind you. Squeeze through the glute, press through the ball of the foot. Maybe you even separate your toes a little bit. A nice stretch into the back of the toes. Engage that upper back, belly button towards spine one more time. Ooh, find some nice length from the crown of your head through your heel. Press into your hands, palms. And on your next inhale, lift your left leg up. Exhale, cross it over the right side of the body. Inhale, push into your hands, palms. Engage your upper back. Exhale, turn, twist, look over your right shoulder. Great. So one more big breath right here. Still really active in that upper body in the stretch here. Inhale, turn your head back to center. Exhale, push into your hands, palms. Inhale, lift your left leg. Exhale, bring your left leg back into me with your right. And then glutes back down towards your heels. Ooh, let's just shake those wrists out. Maybe bringing your hands together. If you do it in one direction, do it in the opposite direction, or do your best. You can always just make some silly shakes. Great. Let's turn over on to our backs. Start to press your heels into the floor if you want. You can already begin to engage your abs as you lower yourself down, possibly one vertebrae at a time. Move my block out of the way. And once you get down to the floor, draw your knees in towards your chest. You can open those knees nice and wide. You can even roll a little. That's what I like to do. I like to kind of roll on my sides to really help to glue that lower back down on the floor. So make sure that you don't have your knees to your chest so much that you're rolling up onto the shoulders. And once again, pull your belly button back towards your spine. You can take a gentle tuck of your chin towards your chest and start to try to release a little bit through the shoulders. So on your next exhale, work to bring the backs of the shoulders towards the mat. Take a big inhale, find some length through the crown of your head. Press that lower back towards the floor. And on your exhale, start to even stretch your elbows towards your hips. And then you can just move between those two ideas for a moment of first using that exhale to bring the backs of the shoulders towards the mat, and then using your exhale to send your elbows towards your hips, just getting a little bit more opening through the chest, nice stretching into that upper back. Let's change the stretch just a little bit. So sending the soles of the feet up towards the ceiling. If you want, you can straighten the legs completely and focus a little bit more on the stretching your hamstrings, or maybe even your calves with your toes flexing towards your face. You can have your hands behind your thighs to really keep that big stretch in your hips. Maybe if you go for a little combo of both, perhaps you can reach your toes, or for a little big toe stretch, stretching out the hamstrings, inner thighs, and hips at the same time. And then come back to those shoulders, which you just spent so much invested breath in relaxing. Can you bring the back of the shoulders closer towards the mat? Two more breaths right here, wherever you are. And then let's gently start to come out. So maybe you bring your feet together with control. Send the feet back down towards the floor. Awesome. Soles of the feet pressing down towards the mat, knees up towards the ceiling. Let's start to get into some engaging core work. So you can have your arms relaxed by your side. We're going to go for 1 minute of glute bridges. So again, you can open those shoulders nice and wide. You can have your hands pressed into the floor, and you're going to use your breath. I like to inhale to lift up and exhale slowly, carefully, releasing yourself back down towards the floor. 1 minute starts right now. Here we go. So inhale to lift, exhale to slowly lower down. If you want to, if you're feeling good about glute bridges and you want to challenge that balance a little bit more, instead of having your arms down by your side, you can stretch those arms up to reach towards the ceiling, or even bringing those arms up behind your head can be a little bit more difficult than having those arms by your side. And remember, you're just moving at the pace of your own breath. So inhaling to lift. If you're going to hold your breath for a moment, you can stay at the top, and exhaling to slowly lower down. Oh, we made it through 1 minute of glute bridges. Great, everyone. Release your lower back down towards the floor. Perhaps you even want to take a moment and just gently windshield wipe your legs. We're going to keep the feet down on the floor. If your weights are nearby, next up is an option to use the weights for some penguin taps. So palms facing up towards the ceiling. You're going to press your lower back down into the mat. So a little gentle tilt of that pelvis, belly button towards spine. You're going to lift yourself up and use your exhale to reach towards one ankle. Inhale to bring it back in. Exhale to reach towards the opposite ankle. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Here we go. So using weights is going to make this way more challenging. If you're just starting to work towards really being lifted and feeling comfortable, because yes, I am asking you to keep your head and your shoulders off of the mat, but that lower back pressed down towards the mat, then maybe using these weights is not for you today, and you're just focusing on this contraction. And if you need to take a break for a second and release yourself down, or maybe you need to release yourself down between each one you're really working on building that strength, I encourage you to reach for that ankle for the whole length of your exhale. So instead of just a quick little tiny reach, hold for an extra second on that exhale, and then inhale, come back through. Oh my gosh, we made it. See, that wasn't so bad. What's our next move? Oh, we got a nice butterfly reach through. So you're going to bring the soles of your feet together, maybe pressing into the outer edge of your feet so you can release your back on the floor again. And we're just going to reach those hands through. Once again, you can keep it nice and slow. Exhale to lift and inhale to lower down. But if you're ready to challenge your abs a little bit more, we're going to pulse it out here for this next minute. So decide what works for you. You're welcome to join me in the pulse and then take the slower breath as you need to. In 3, 2, 1. Here we go. So either keeping that lower back down on the mat, or you're finding a nice slow reach and an inhale to lower down. If you want something even more challenging, lifting those feet up off of the floor, even just a tiny little hover, is going to be a lot more difficult. Maybe you just lift your feet up for a pulse or two. Whew. Oh, burning in those upper abs. Just about 10 seconds left. Oh, whoa. Carefully lower yourself down. That got pretty intense with those feet lifted. We got something a little bit more gentle coming up. We're going to roll over, oh, my glutes, and come back into a tabletop position. All right. So hands palms are going to start right underneath of your chest. For this next one, we're going to keep our right hand down on the floor. We're going to find some movement through the left hand coming closer towards the mat onto our forearm, and then a nice kick through of the right leg. So showing you one time, I'm going to bring my forearm down parallel to the floor, working to keep my chest square to the floor and hips squared towards the floor, and then pressing into that left knee with belly button drawn back towards the spine, a nice semi-diagonal kick kind of up towards the corner of the room with that right leg. Toe flexed back towards your face, so it's a heel strike of sorts towards the back room, and then pushing into your right hand and lifting back up onto your left. And we're just going to stick with that one side for a minute. I'll walk you through it in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. So left arm down, press and kick through that right heel, bring that right leg in, press yourself back up. Doesn't have to be too fast. Once again, focusing on using that breath and really exhaling during the exertion. Exhale to come down with control. Push yourself up. Oh, I did both things at the same time. You don't have to do that. So bringing that arm down, pressing through that leg, bringing that knee in, pressing through your one hand. So it's almost like we're getting a little single arm push up. So you might be really noticing the tricep work. Maybe you're really noticing the core work to stay balanced right here. And this is one of those great ones where the slower you move, the more challenging things can seem, especially to move as seamlessly as possible. Yay. Take a moment, give yourself a quick little cat-cow, at least one in each direction. And we're going to do the same thing on the opposite side next. So starting in your neutral tabletop, this time left hand, right knee stays planted, right hand moves in 3, 2, 1. Right forearm comes down towards the ground. Kick through that left heel diagonally. Bring that knee back in and press through the right palm to lift yourself up. Right forearm comes down. Kick through that left leg. Try not to open your hip. Bring that left knee back in. Press through the left palm to lift. So we're getting some ab work here. Might not be super noticeable, but I promise you it's happening because we're working through stability. Forearm comes down. This is a great way to really practice towards doing some of those elevator planks, lifting and lowering. Because you're just practicing right now, transferring the weight from one position to another. We're so close, y'all. Ah, we made it. Bring both hands down, both knees down. Give yourself a cat. Give yourself a cow. Cross your legs over behind you. Maybe you walk those knees up. I am because I want to have some room. And we're just going to flip over onto our glutes. Great. So next up are our freedom twists, which is my my new name for Russian twists. Freedom twists, everybody. All right. So your options for these twists, you can keep the feet down on the floor. I like to press my heels into the floor, work to keep that chest lifted. So if you find that you have too much weight, I know I'm still feeling a little tight in that upper body. Don't worry, we'll get to it. Maybe you just hold on to one weight. Maybe you hold on to no weights at all and you just twist side to side. Feet can stay down on the floor. Maybe you lift those knees up. Maybe even go for a little straight-legged Russian twist. You got 1 minute to challenge yourself as much as possible. Start with the hardest thing you think you can do today. In 3, 2, 1, begin. I'll join you. Hardest thing I think that I can do today. is with this nice straight leg, still working to keep that chest lifted. So if you notice you're really rounding through that back, take a little modification here somewhere. Maybe you bring those feet down towards the floor. Maybe you just come into a regular tabletop. Woo! Get that twist. Don't miss out on the twist aspect. Halfway through, halfway through. Can you come on back to something a little bit more challenging as we get closer to the end? And it's okay if you can't. Whew, as you're getting tired, be smart for your body. 10 seconds left. 3, 2, 1. Ah, you're awesome. Put those weights down. Let's just come into a comfortable seated position of your choice. So whether that means cross leg or if you opened your legs out nice and wide, whatever feels good for you, press those sit bones down to the floor. Ooh, I feel a sneeze coming on. And start to walk your hands forward. Choo, choo. Excuse me, everyone. Don't worry, it's just allergies, I think. All right, so sit bones are still down on the floor. Maybe you have your chest still really lifted, that nice long back, especially if you're feeling tired through that back. If you're feeling good though, if you've got the flexibility with the sit bones grounded, once you've already come forward with a little bit of length, you can find some rounding through the back. Even if you stayed lifted, can you tuck your chin towards your chest? How does that feel to help stretch through the upper back and neck a little bit? Take a nice little scan of your body from head to toe and trust yourself. You just demonstrated some amazing physical strength. Can you demonstrate some amazing relaxation because you're worth it? All right, you might want to walk yourself in a tad and then over all the way to one side. Once you get there, press the opposite sit bone down towards the floor. Draw one shoulder forward, the one that moved. Draw that one forward, draw the other one towards the back. Emphasize that stretch that you can receive on the side of your body. And then relax a little bit and pass over to the opposite side. Once you get there, press the sit bone that you walked away from, the one you're not reaching to, and draw the shoulder that moved closer towards the front of the room. Great work. Walk your hands forward once more, and let's pull up into tabletop again. Okay, from here on in tabletop, go ahead, bring your left leg forward. And you can stay down here on the floor. Starting to get a nice stretch, hopefully, into your hip. Or maybe you'll lift yourself up. Oh, it feels so good on my back leg. I really notice the stretch lifting myself up. This might seem like such a sleeper move for getting a stretch in, but while you're just here in 90-90, working to still keep those two hips squared. So I'm a little twisted on the mat, but I promise I'm doing my best to be in a delightful line. Pushing the back knee and toe down towards the floor is really opening up uh, this back leg hip. Let's go ahead and switch those legs out. So other leg comes down towards the floor. Bring that opposite foot forward. And if you prefer, you can always lean down. Maybe you even found that you really needed to bring that um, planted foot a little further forward to find the opening of the hip. But I just want you to know that you don't always have to find that deep hinge. You know what else I noticed felt really great? Was instead of just having the leg forward, you can stay with the same leg or switch. I'm going to switch my original leg. Is when I first started chatting with you, having my leg out towards the side. So feel free to join me. Let's get one last stretch in. So I've got my legs. They would almost be perpendicular to each other if this lower leg kept going forward. Ooh, it's a nice little stretch. And a different part of the hip, a little bit into the glute. All right, let's bring it back in and find that opposite side. So just starting off lifting the leg, and then maybe you even wiggle it if lifting it doesn't work to be as much perpendicular with the rest of your body as possible. So a little pressure of the outside of the knee to the wall behind you might help. Awesome. Go ahead, bring those two knees back together. Take a moment, come back to kneeling, which I was going to say is where we started, but we started in cat cow today. Give yourself a couple shoulder rolls one more time and then relax elbows close by your side, heavy towards your hips. A nice lift of your chest, belly button still back towards spine. Take 3 breaths right here. And while you might not be able to get back to your mat through the rest of the day, I hope that this is a reminder that you can always tune back into your breath using your exhale longer than your inhale to slow down your heart rate, to increase that sensation of just feeling good and in control. That's all the time we have for today, everyone. If you have any questions or concerns about anything I said or we did, you know you can reach out. Can't wait to see you again. Amazing class coming to you on Friday for yin. If you have any sort of upper shoulder, frozen shoulder issues, game changer. So I hope that I'll see y'all again on Friday and next week for some more core and stretch. Have a wonderful rest of your day, everyone.